Listen, welcome in, welcome in. Recap of TikTok Live. The recap of TikTok Live. Thank you so much for those who came by. I appreciate you.
You for coming in. I appreciate you. I am what
I
things that
appreciate
I
you
need to
stopping in.
share. I would love for you guys. I am your coach. I am Coach D. I'm your coach. Am I? Is that how it goes? All right. I am Coach D Shields, and I host the podcast, What D Says the Podcast. It's available to listen to daily on YouTube. You can also, wherever you listen to podcasts, What D Says the Podcast. If you want the latest podcasts and the latest talks, like what we talk about here on TikTok, or the full recap of the show, if you want to play it later and talk about it later with your friends and family at the salon, at the barbershop, wherever it is that you hang out, all you have to do is click the link in bio, YouTube link in bio. When you get over there to YouTube, please join my community. All right, if I have not set enough, all right, link in bio, and then you can replay that 2 hour Fat Joe talk that we had. All right. I need to tell somebody to come by. I'm over there just in Austin, Texas, talking to Elon now. But I do have some Elon news, but I am in Austin, Texas. None of that was a joke. Actually, that was all truth. All right. So amateur comedian, amateur comedian. We are going to be talking what I show you on this. Diddy spoke. I told you that he would speak. I told you that it would be the same amount of words that he said. I told you, but you don't listen to me because you just want me to be the black sheep. And I get it. I'm the black sheep of the family. I'm very used to people categorizing me that way. But I did. I did. Not saying that I know everything about Sean P. Diddy Combs, because baby, best believe this trial has shocked me. And everything I thought that I knew in the late 80s and early 90s. Yeah, I just didn't know Sean P. Diddy Combs like I thought that I knew Sean P. Diddy Combs. So I followed the trial because, I've been around since the 80s, or I kind of been around before that, but we won't. We are not about to let anybody guess my age right now. Okay. But I just know that I needed to know more because I heard all the rumors and everything that was being talked about. So 29 days we have been here talking about Sean P. Diddy Combs, Puffy, Diddy, Puff as we used to call him, Puffy, but I just had to find out because it was so many rumors. And then as the arrest and the raid and everything that went down, I just started not believing any of it. And I had to tap in and go beyond reasonable doubt to my decision on what I think. But listen, Diddy spoke in court today. I'm pretty much, clocking that T on everything Diddy right now because I guess just knowing the man's career in the spotlight and following it and reading every magazine article, I'm the one that when he and Kim Porter and the children were on that cover of the magazine, I'm the one that read the magazine article from the beginning to the end. I'm that chick. So I guess this is just something that I had to do. I had to follow it all the way through to make sure that I knew something about Kim Porter's ex. Okay. Diddy spoke in court today, so we'll talk about that. I didn't think 50 Cent and Madonna would come in. I knew 50 and Madonna was going to be, yeah, but I just didn't think that they were going to come in like that. They came in. So I will be sharing what happened when 50 Cent and Madonna were brought up once again in the trial in this way, like what's happening here. Jane was running them PIMP games, and there are plenty of text receipts, and I will share those text receipts
Yes,
with you
yes.
today. Also, Johnson baby oil and Astroglide and Diddy and a collab and what is that endorsement? I mean, I don't know. All I'm trying to see is I'm going to break it on down for you because it's a shocker to me as well. So we will talk about all these things. But before we go into that, can I tell you? Listen, I know it is what it is. I have no opinion about. I mean, I do have some opinions about it left or right, but I don't want to have a political talk. I just want to talk about things like this is coming, and there is nothing that we can do to stop it. So before we go into the Diddy trial, Elon Musk sitting around in these Austin. I'm in Austin, Texas. For those who do not know, tap in, follow the host. If you're in Austin, I would love to create with you and content create with you and all these great things that we have going on this summer. I'm usually in Denver, Colorado. I'm born and raised Austin, Texas, but lately I like to have myself in the space and in the place in Colorado because I just get paid more. I'm talking about, not this whole content creating life. Like in my real job life, I make more money in Colorado. So it is what it is. I have that preference. Everyone has a preference to like more money. Health equals wealth, right? So wealth equals health, or however that goes. All right. So listen, the richest man in the world, the richest man in the world released his cars. And to the world. Not really. He released about a few of his cars, maybe 10 to 12 of his cars in Austin, Texas, and they've been doing what they do. But what I found impressive about when the richest man in the world releases a robo taxi that drives itself and can take you all the way wherever you want to go and all the way back, what I find impressive about that is $4.20. This is why the richest man in the world should be the one to release those vehicles. Can you imagine my Uber, no matter where I go, if I'm going to the doctor, if I'm going to the mall, if I'm going to get something to eat, if I'm going to pick up my jab pen, whatever it is whatever my errand is for the day, instead of it, going from somewhere between $5 to $36, especially if I have to go all the way out to the Austin airport, that's almost $48 one way. Well, guess what? The richest man in the world said, y'all can have it for $4.20. So yes, go ahead and book your flight, make your way to have the ride in the robo taxi, because the robo taxi is $4.20 no matter the destination. So wherever you are picked up at and wherever you are dropped off at, $4.20 that way. And when you go home, $4.20 flat rate, not tipping the driver. What? Oh, I'm sorry. We're talking about the robo taxi. It doesn't have a driver. Okay, so I thought, yeah, it should be the richest man in the world. If anybody's going to drop a vehicle, it should definitely be. Yeah, it should be the richest man in the world. If anybody's going to drop a vehicle, it should definitely be the richest man in the world. Because only there are some people that they're living off of all of the little cash that they get in every time you come to their food truck. There are some people that they're living off of all of the little cash that they get in every time you come to their food truck and buy a burger. So let's just bring that up. It wasn't a burger, but it was an ice cream. In St. Louis, Missouri, a food truck dude. Did y'all see that? No disrespect if he on TikTok swirling and hear me talking. I'm not judging you, dude. It's just principalities of things. Okay. So he has an ice cream truck.
Appreciate those comments.
And the children are all, it's hot. It's, it's hot. If it's as hot as it is in Texas, in St. Louis as it is in Texas, I can only imagine. But I don't like denying babies anything. I do not like when people take money for it, right? I wouldn't try it. Oh, please. Like, it's here to stay. Listen, LJ, welcome back in. Listen, that thing is here to stay. What you're talking about? Don't try to robo taxi. By the time we get to 10 years from now, every vehicle will be a robo taxi. Have y'all not seen the plans of the richest man in the world? That's Thanos. You won't have a choice. No, I'm joking. But anyway, so this guy in St. Louis, he has an ice cream truck, and then we're gonna get to the Diddy trial. He has an ice cream truck. So somebody come over bawling and shot calling, and he's like, "Here's $500. I want to buy all the kids in the neighborhood ice cream, even though I'm why are you wanting to buy all the children in the neighborhood? Don't be outside near no ice cream truck buying my children nothing. And they should already know. My grandchildren know. Run, run, run. Don't take stuff from strangers. Okay, because they may have you caught up in Diddy trial court talking about, you was laid up with the Punisher. You don't know what come with getting that free ice cream. So don't take that free ice cream. Okay. But listen, the children, so they gave $500 tip to the driver. Let me tell you how the driver was a hustler. Player played from the Himalaya, played that $500. So they gave him the $500, said, all the children out here, all the kids in the world, not really, but all the children that out here buy the ice cream truck, they can have some ice cream. And don't stop until you serve $500 worth of ice cream. Bruh tried it. Bruh tried it. I almost thought, I said, when I looked at the article, I said, was that Houston, Texas? You sure that wasn't Dallas? But it was St. Louis. Okay, so bruh served ice cream, y'all. Parents was trying to come all the way. They ripped his soul apart. Okay, so bro served the ice cream, $500 worth of ice cream. Put in the chat how many ice cream cones you think he gave out. And then I need somebody with that serious math skill to do the math. How many ice cream cones do you think he handed out when he was given a tip of $500 to give all the children some ice cream? I'll wait. I'll wait. How many ice cream cones do you guys think that he gave out? Thank you so much for tapping the 300. Can we tap, tap, tap until we get to 10K? When we get to 10K, it puts us on the FYP. When you tap, you get points as well. When you comment, 5 comments. Have you seen the money? It's some serious money. I have to be like those TikTokers. Can you see that money? That's $4,000 when you get 5 comments. I'm sorry they be lying to y'all on this app. But anyway, but yeah, you do get some points if you, go do some comments and things like that. It'll help grow you. It'll grow me and grow you, right? But as far as growing, I'm trying to grow this direction, okay? B is Lizzo. Call me Lizzie. I be skinny, or whatever Lizzo said. All right, but anyway, so the food truck, you guys, I think, don't do pre-workout before your podcast. All right, back to I'm not gonna even advertise which one it is because y'all be up there with Casanat. Okay, so anyway, so the guy got the $500 tip. Okay, when he got the $500 tip, he gave out ice cream, 16 ice cream cones, and then told them babies hot and waiting in line want some ice cream. He said, I don't have no more. And he kept the rest of the money. The community in that article, they say the community snapped on that dude. Like, what are you talking about? What was that? $35 an ice cream cone? Somebody help me with the math. Was it Was that about 35 to $40 for an ice cream cone? I am so sorry that that happened. Look at that, Colorado. Always tapping in, always calling. Can't talk right now. Boom. So anyway, but yeah, y'all, I can't believe that that happened. So what do y'all think? Put an ice cream cone in the chat. Put an ice cream cone in the chat. Thank you for that, LJ. Thank you for the ice cream. I didn't even, that was great minds think alike. Thank you for the ice cream cone gift. Because what the hell? Why would you do that to the babies? Who does that, man? Who does that to the kids? Anyway, you guys, let's get out of St. Louis. Let's get back to our business because we have our own business to mind. Okay, we don't have time. We do have time. Austin, Texas. Let me tell you one more thing about Austin, Texas. Not just Elon Musk and these robo taxis. You're born and raised here, and it's never been this high. Okay, born and raised here, it's never been this high. I was born in the early '70s. It has never been this high. I went on a walk at 9 a.m. and I'm telling you, it felt like the end of the world. Lucifer was on every sidewalk crack today, okay? Just blowing flames as you walk. That is how. So when you come on vacation, stay ready with your fan. Where them fans at? Make sure you have your fan. That's what he was saying. That's what 803 freshman. When you come to Texas, where them fans at? That is what 803 fresh was talking about. If you did not know, I'm here to let you know that's what he was talking about. Okay, let's get into it because a lot happened in the Diddy trial today. But let's shout out those people in the comments. I appreciate you coming back. LJ sitting with the gifts. Thank you, my mind. Thank you. I appreciate you. That is my honey. So if you will follow him also, Brent Reborn, and I saw him just a minute ago, but if you will, if you guys see Brent Reborn, or you can tap up there for the top, so you guys, and follow the top 10. Let me try to act like I'm real big, like I'm like I'm Dr. Iyanla Vanzette already. Let's go ahead and do that. Speaking of Coach D Shields, if you want to read my books, I want you to click the link in the bio, Barnes& and Noble or Amazon. Get a copy of the book, Relationship Talk. I do my best to improve your relationships as I improve my life with your dollars. No, I'm joking. They're so cheap. I can't even get a Birkin bag with 500 books, that the price that I charge y'all, let alone any more than that. I barely charge for books. So I can't even, in Trump's economy, I cannot eat a burger. I can't even eat a salad for what I charge y'all for books. So go over there and get that free stuff almost. Okay. All right. So you said I'm not gonna it was an LJ move, is that what LJ said? It's been arguing like, the price of, man, it is LJ, the groceries right now, they need to stop. I'm glad. Look, this is why I'm not going through too much, because my doctor had me start on this kind of low. I had to go to my dietitian. She can't, do it on her own, but I had to go to my dietitian. When she sent me over to the dietitian had my macros low. So I was already just used to just not having a lot. And then I started this whole be extreme if you want to stop looking like Rasputia life, right? So once I started that life, I started doing one meal a day. So I was already saving on my groceries. I was just trying to give y'all a tip. Eat once a day, drink some tea, take your supplements, drink your water. I can't say all that. You know what to do. If you want to save at the grocery store, you need to get on this journey. I happened to be here a year ago, but I'm telling you, it takes a long time to get the weight back off anyway. I'm a skinny girl from Austin, Texas, used to walk everywhere. I moved to Fort Hood, Texas. You can't walk everywhere. I gained the kind of weight where Rasputia is like, dang, B, you big. Like it was really bad. All you have to do is scroll my timeline. I'm not that. You know how them chicks, when they lose the weight, they delete all the fat. I'm gonna leave the fat here for y'all to see. So scroll the timeline, enjoy. All right, let's get to it because we have so much to cover today. All right, wedding fans in the studio, hot AF. it just dropped two of my favorite lip glosses. So only my non-favorite lip glosses here. If I end up needing it, that's okay. We do what we have to do. If you love me, gift me lip gloss. Okay. Our galaxies so we can buy another lip gloss. You guys don't want us to go to Target, so we're no boycott Target. And so you boycott Target, you start paying more for lip gloss. I'm just saying, I have too many complaints today. Y'all didn't come for that. All right, Diddy trial. Let's get to it. So Diddy spoke up in court today. We're gonna be talking about it because how he said, Diddy said, "Thank y'all for coming out. God bless and good night." That's not for everybody. If you're not the culture, you got nothing from that. But if you are the culture, you enjoy that amateur joke I just did. Okay, so then he said, "Thank y'all for coming out. God bless and good night." Okay, no, he didn't say that, but I will tell you. Oh my God, I'm having too much fun. I'm so happy this Diddy trial is coming to a close. Y'all have no idea. Y'all have no idea how it is consumed. It has consumed the daily life, work life, health life, balance life, therapy. Yeah, I'm talking about Diddy and therapy. That's the whole problem. All right, so I had to go to therapy for Diddy's problem. All right, no more jokes. So from yesterday at the Diddy trial, I wanted to bring up some things, right? At yesterday at the Diddy trial, money was spent. Okay, male escorts. Y'all, I'm gonna give the names. I'm going to give the names of the male escorts, okay? And you better screen record, LJ. I'm telling you, sometimes this might be my future comedy career. They'll be like, how did she become a comedian again? What exactly did she go to school for? Oh, okay. So she has no skills. So she's only funny sometimes. Sometimes. Yeah, they would have tomatoes on the stage. They'd be like, these jokes are so whack. Like, W in the chat for these whack jokes. I'm sorry. Okay, yo. So yesterday, they kind of went over some money that he spent on escorts. I had to get some of them escorts names, not because I'm gonna call them, because I want to see another day. If y'all see my man, y'all would understand. Click on Brent Reborn, you would understand. I'm trying to see another day. No, I'm joking. But literally, I'm not trying to get an escort, but I did want to know the tea, right? So y'all tell me, which escort do you think does not know their worth? I don't know why I said this. This is in my script. I'm sorry. So, which escort do you think does not know their worth? So, $5,000 allegedly from Sean P. Diddy Combs or somebody in the Sean P. Diddy Combs camp. I'm telling you, it's Jane. I'm about to read her text receipts. $5,000 to Sly for activities, $3,000 to Paul. Keep up with these names because I'm going to tell you which escort does not know his worth. $5,000 to Sly, $3,000 to Paul, $3,000 to Arthur, $3,500 to Antoine, $900 to Cabral, $1,100 to Cowboys for Angels. Y'all want to know how to spell Cabral? Because $900 Cabral. That is Sean P. Diddy Combs. I don't want to do that. There's an awful joke that Dave Chappelle does about Michael Jackson and no understanding Michael Jackson, eggplant. And when it's Michael Jackson's eggplant kind of joke, it's a horrible joke. But this will be a really good time for you comedians to write that joke about Sean P. Diddy Combs. Like when it's Sean P. Diddy Combs, $900, boo. You tell Joe Blow down the street, it'll be $900. When it's Sean P. Diddy Combs, it's gonna be one of them houses, bruh. That's what you should have told him. But anyway, let's get out of his bank account. Let's get back to it. So the prosecution presented. I'm going to read some things from the prosecution too for those who really want a serious update. Oh, I do have some serious updates coming up. All right. So yesterday, prosecution had presented text from Diddy where he says, "Listen." He kind of had like a light tone, and I thought that this was very helpful for the defense, right? So he's like, stop raising my rates. He's talking to one of the hotels. I'm pretty sure he was talking to the Trump hotel, but he was like, stop raising my rates. It's been a long time. I've been coming a long time. I've been bringing my escorts and my girls and my people and having all these events and parties. Stop raising them, and it's a conversation that he's having, like, and I agree with him. Like, what hotel sees Sean P. Diddy Combs come on a weekly basis, if that? I don't know what kind of schedule that he has, but like, what hotel? He said to me like Tyler Perry, LJ, I got you. I promise you, y'all could have that at comedians. Y'all can have it these jokes because honestly, what am I gonna do with the jokes in my? What can I do with them? It's just who knows where they'll take me, and they'll be like, no, lady, you're not funny. After that one live, you were no longer funny. So comedians, y'all have at them, okay? But listen. The defense claims that I'm sorry. So they, but that was a conversation. What do you think that should the hotels have been raising rates on the, maybe not Sean Combs himself, because then probably he had nothing to do with it sometimes, but in that one conversation. But do you think that as many times as the administration or the enterprise or the LLC or whatever of Bad Boy uses hotels, that they should be getting major discounts by then? If it was us and we were traveling like that on a weekly basis, we would demand our discounts, right? You guys let me know. What do you think in the chat, huh? Do you think that you would be demanding your money from the hotel? Thank you guys so much for coming by. We're looking at 1.1 thousand people stopped in, one about 1,000K taps. So you guys tap that up to 10K. That's going to be beneficial for yourself and for me. Also, LJ, thank you so much for that participation, as well as for the taps and everything. And anybody that's in the chat, if you are, is my number going down because I did the Trump joke? All right. No more Trump jokes. Dang, that was a funny one though. All right. So listen, the defense also was talking about yesterday about Diddy, but he did speak in court today. So I'm gonna skip past that because he did speak in court today. The defense also, worked on their cross-examination of the summary witness that kind of ended up going until today. Back and forth, prosecution and defense. But I wanted you to catch a point where the defense was really going in, questioning the text that Jane has sent from her phone to Cabral. That's the $900 escort dude, right? If he's on here, I'm toast. Okay, so nothing about that lifestyle will they think that joke is funny. But anyway, so Jane texts this. Now, this is Jane who says that she's forced in this lifestyle. They make me do this. I never wanted to do anything other than love Sean P. Diddy Combs. I wanted to be Puffy's girl. This is that girl, right? So she says, I'm free tomorrow. I can fly you out tomorrow, or I can fly over to you. I can fly out to you tonight. So Cabral goes, yes, I am, baby. I'm definitely down. Would love to see you. I don't know who Cabral is, but I think I do know who Cabral is, but I was like, oh, it couldn't be. But there's a video up, me, always on the Diddy parties pages and things like that. I think I saw a video where I think I know who it is. Okay, so then Jane also texts, want to come to Miami tomorrow? I have a small freedom window. So Cabral's like, I would really love to see you, but I have a chef gig. So then Jane is like, that's okay. After you finish cooking, come. Girl, I bet. So Jane seems like she really enjoys the lifestyle, along with that high rent being paid. Girl, I don't know. Over and over, I keep seeing evidence that um Cowboy Nation got it. So listen, over and over, I keep seeing evidence that Jane really had an opportunity to go and she just chose not to, right? So then going into Wednesday, the prosecution and the defense
Sorry about that, you guys. So thank you for coming in. I
have a
appreciate
charging conference. In this
you.
charging conference, they're going to go
Recap
over
of
all the things that
TikTok
they
Live.
feel, okay, this, let that alone. Hey,
We will talk
Same,
more
welcome
after.
in.
Don't
Welcome in,
forget,
you
leave
guys.
a comment.
Thank you so much, Same, LJ. Everybody coming back in, you guys. I appreciate you guys, the returning viewers. You guys really matter to me, as well as the new viewers. Thank you so much. If you guys still tap that screen, tap that up to 10K. Get so many more people from the FYP. Also, shout out to Tux. Thank you for that invite for tomorrow. I'm looking forward to having that conversation with you guys, with Bella, and thank you for having me up on your platform last night. That was a lot of fun. 3 hours of great relationship talk, right? All right. So Wednesday, the prosecutors, like I said, they're going to go over, things like, should the jury look at this? No, we're not going to send that into deliberations. We send that into deliberation, the jury won't make a decision until December 2025. So some things they're going to take away, because just like that agent, like I can imagine after the Sean P. Diddy Combs trial, that homeland security guy agent that was testifying, I'm just imagining that he's pretty much going to call it a day on that career. I asked to do a lot of things. I swore an oath to protect my country against people that shouldn't be here doing, XYZ. That was kind of the life. So no one had really warned him that he would be watching 9,000 hours of freak offs. So since that was really not a part of the job description, I am thinking that the agent is going to go ahead and retire. He's going to hang it up. His wife also is hearing this part of the job through the trial. She didn't really know that he sat and watched watch freak offs all day. So he's probably going to go ahead and retire. Yeah, I just think that we could do a lot more with our Homeland Security chat. What do you think? Should we could do, yeah, they could be doing a whole bunch of things other than sitting there watching Diddy. I'm standing with the defense on that. Okay. Nikki says, Coach G, the guilty on every count. The case is bogus. It's a waste of time, a taxpayer dollars. Not guilty on every count. Listen, so the defense agreed with you. Let me pin your comment because I'm going to show you in a minute. The defense agreed with you. Like what exactly is going on? The defense put in that acquittal request real quick. They, if the drama doesn't fit, it must acquit or whatever Johnny Cochran said. Okay, because he really meant that if he had said it that way. Rest in peace, Johnny Crockett. So after that, I wanted to talk to you guys about today. Let's get it to day 29. Sean P. Diddy Combs is facing charges of ex trafficking, racketeering, conspiracy. The transportation prostitution purposes became very weak, very weak. Like the trial started not giving, it started being doing too much. And it just became really, really weak. I'm sorry, let me correct something in my notes because these notes go somewhere else also. The trial just became very, very weak. Okay. Also, 5 witnesses testified under immunity, including, including, I, I, I'm going to just say this the way that it was given to me. So witnesses testified under, let me just verify that other one because I don't know that Diddy testified under immunity, but I think that that's how it went across as the breaking news earlier. But I'll give that to you as an update tomorrow. We'll work on that one tomorrow. I don't like to say anything that may not be all the way true, but I believe that he did. Okay, so and then the former assistants testified under immunity. Okay, now this is random chat. Do you think that Sean P. Diddy Combs and his trial and his baby oil obsession, which if you're not using baby oil, you better be using some coconut oil. You better be using some of this oil. You better be using somebody oil because I don't want to see your ashes up in them streets. I don't want to see ashes up in them streets. Okay. But do you think that Sean P. Diddy Combs and his trial and his baby oil obsession, which imagine, you know how we like to buy oil in the culture, right? Imagine if you had Sean P. Diddy Combs dollars for baby oil. Like imagine if you had dollars on dollars on dollars. Are the feds kicking in my door because I have baby oil? We do oil in our culture. But let me not say that. I don't mean that to the feds. Watch my mouth. But I'm just saying we do oil in our culture. So what was that about? Chad, do you think that he should be like that the baby oil should have been a big deal? I just need to know. I can't be alone on this. I think that baby oil stuff was ridiculous. What in the world was going on with that, right? JC, welcome in. Nikki, welcome in. Thank you for adding those comments. LJ, look, like that. What are they doing with that baby oil thing? It's not making no sense to me. Also, chat, listen, I have another question. Do you think that trial and his baby oil obsession did that help Johnson and Johnson? This is for the culture. Not everybody going to catch that, so it's okay, and I'll catch y'all up. If y'all want me, if you don't understand what I'm talking about, tell me to do a baby oil podcast, and we'll talk about that at another time because I can break down some tea on some tea on some tea on that baby oil business with Johnson and Johnson, Procter and Gamble. I can give you some P and G tea that you'll never feel that you'll never be the same. Okay, so I can give you some P and G tea. So did the trial? At this point, I think that J&J, that endorsement deal, I'm looking at Sean P. Diddy Combs opening up a J&J store right next to Sean John, right next to Justin. You're gonna be able to go in there and get some Astroglide. I'm just saying, is this gonna be this moment that's gonna happen? Because I believe that this really did bring J&J back for what they did, and they know what they did, right? With that baby powder, P&G, and that baby powder. I'm just saying. I think it was real convenient. And I think that what Sean P. Diddy Combs did was help y'all get the culture back in there buying baby oil. I'm just saying, baby, anything. Johnson Johnson, anything. Because there was a moment when we were like, if it's got a J and a J on it, I'm not buying it. That boycott was serious. That hurt. They need baby oil. But once their baby grows up, the YT people, they pretty much done with baby oil. They like baby oil for what? Right? But we were really in there going in ham on some baby powder, going in ham on some Johnson and Johnson, products. So when we hit that, y'all gave us Y'all gave us the C. People had the C from using the baby powder. We came hard with that boycott. Y'all thought we hurt Target, baby. You better ask J&J what we did. All right, LJ, thank you for coming up. You guys, LJ, say something and see whether they can hear you. Microphone, is your microphone on? LJ, I cannot hear you. Kelly, you see, I seen him appear to. Oh, good Lord, I'm sorry about that. I am sorry about that. We love oils. Listen, period. We do oils, and that's why the skin look. We do oils, okay? But anyway, let's not get into it before the feds come kicking in this door because they're like, oh, she keeps talking about baby oil, and when we got all of her baby oil from the house, guess what it had in it? You know they'll try everybody's soul if they can. All right. So anyway, let's get to it. Chad, do you also think that Astro, do you think that they should be putting, some money on Sean P. Diddy books if he get life in prison? J&J and Astro, listen, that endorsement is very necessary, right? Here is my main thing that I want to tell you about the baby oil because you probably don't know this. So let's talk legalese for a minute. The baby oil and the Astro is important in this case because the prosecution is trying to show a high level of organization, like he needed to have a whole bunch of this because of what we are accusing him of, and he kept it stocked up for high activity. Right. So that is what now, if somebody went in there and tainted his baby oil and went in the closet and messed with his baby oil for whatever reason that they chose to do that, that who knows why they would set him up like that, right? But they are definitely going on because we have heard about baby oil so much in this case. It didn't bring me back Johnson and Johnson, by the way. I don't know. Is this hat from Johnson and Johnson? Because other than that, I purposely make my way around J&J products. But to each their own. Now, if you want to give me $1 million, I'll talk about Johnson and Johnson all day. All right. So anyway, let's get back to it. So perhaps it's also simply a stock market move. Did anyone take a look at the market when baby oil was the main conversation over the past year? Well, I like to go in and take a look at the market. You can go in and do your own business, but if you want to find them on the market, they are TSX colon BABY. Go look at how much money they've made with everybody talking about baby oil. Sometimes the conversations in the media are simply making a lot of people that hold stock money. That's how I got in the stock game. But anyway, no financial advice here. Go call your own financial advisor, okay? But I'm just saying, the more we say baby oil, the more a lot of people make some money if they have large amounts of stock. Let's see. There are 340.37 million people that have baby oil shares. I said what I said, what I said. All right. So I might want to tone back a little bit on that baby oil after the Diddy trial is over, right? So listen, chat, for you that are tuned in, tap that screen. Help me get that screen up to 10K. If you have goals to go viral, and you want to make sure that you are getting something out of being supporting me, as well as I need you guys to do is participate in the chat. Some people are already doing that. They're doing some comments. Kelly, thank you. That's how you get I don't know about that, Kelly. Never heard that. Um I might be tapping into a conversation. I might be tapping into a conversation. Let me not tap into your business. Let me get back to what I'm doing. Okay. Also, share the daily heartbeats, please. Share the community fest. That's a kind of something that we have going on right now for a short amount of time. So 1 point for community fest, 1 point for that heart me, and I appreciate that so much. I need you guys to help me help you, and I will be helping you in your life, please. And then you share and help my life, and I'll come to your life. And if you will, the TikTok algorithm needs to know that we are here. So if you need to get, I need you to get this up to 10K. Okay, just if you can, just help me to get it up to 10K. All right, make the bag, chat. Don't let the bag make you. If you don't know that reference, that's not your movie. That happens to be my movie, and I just kind of edited a little bit. I don't want to say it the other way. Make the bag, baby, and don't let the bag make you. Am I saying it right? Lisa, that's my movie. Okay, so anyway, listen, let's get back to KK and let's move on back into the trial. KK, y'all, she has been presented as a main co-conspirator in this trial. Would you guys agree with that? Do you agree that KK is definitely looking like for what they were accusing her of? Even though the defense showed up today, it was like, that's my KK. Let's go, KK. Like the defense came up with a whole cheerleading squad for KK. Baby, I was like, KK, you roll like that, girl. I'm beginning to think you secretly married to Sean P. Diddy Combs because the defense rode hard. Okay, they rode very hard for you today, right? So, but she is seeming to be put in a, like, did she conspire? Is how they were trying to really draw in this whole Rico thing by using KK over and over, right? I wanted to make sure that I shout you guys out. Kelly, LJ, Britt, that's my mod up in there. Same, thank you so much for those gifts. I appreciate that so much. You guys can tap the microphone if you want to come up. Tyra, thank you for that follow. I appreciate you. You guys, if you are staying in and tuning in, please do reach and tap the screen. And if you will, and I appreciate all participation, all gifts, everything that you do. And when you see me, if you happen to see me in those streets where I am live with just the voice chat, stop in because I'm trying to grow the voice chat also, if you will. Okay. So listen, Shapiro is, I really thought we were going to have a conversation. I don't know. I don't know. I don't, with closing arguments, I really don't know how it's going to go, but Shapiro was doing a lot of talking today. So I want to highlight some of Shapiro's comments. Defense Shapiro for Sean P. Diddy Combs, the defense Shapiro, attorney Shapiro. There was a comment, there was a conversation going on. Let me highlight this part. On obstruction, they have to show intimidation or threats to hinder or delay. Siding with Arthur Anderson versus US, there must be consciousness of wrongdoing. Here, the incident involves Mia and Jane, and on Mia, there's no actus reus, right? So I wanted to take you guys into, paralegals go to certain spaces to go into these particular trials to kind of catch that reference. I'll just do a little bit of that reference to tell you who that was about so you could go do your research because y'all didn't go to school for me. So since y'all didn't do my homework through school, I'm not gonna be doing yours. Okay. But now listen, Arthur Anderson, Martha Stewart. That's what they were talking about, right? So should it be an element of obstruction? Should it even be allowed? Go read that Arthur Anderson versus the United States, okay? Let me get a key highlight out of it. The enormous discretion that is always afforded to prosecutors to choose charges, defendants, and whether to even proceed with a prosecution is magnified when prosecutors are provided with several obstruction statutes that allow them to proceed, right? So go look and read through that entire Arthur Anderson versus the United States, or United States versus Arthur Anderson versus the United States. Go read that particular case so you can kind of get a feel of where they're calling out the defense on. And they have to do those references. Those are very, very important to kind of bring the judge around, maybe to side with the request that I'm about to tell you about in just a second. So it's time to, if the drama doesn't fit, you must acquit. Y'all better quote me on t-shirts and everything. Coach D Shell said, if the drama doesn't fit, you must acquit. Don't ever forget that part, that I said that. Okay. So listen, the defense Shapiro also said this. Eddie Garcia said the money was for the video, nothing more, talking about that hotel incident with Cassie Ventura. And then they said, Shapiro says Miss Ventura appeared on FaceTime and said that she had a movie coming out and did not want the video to come out. It was Cassie Ventura telling her man, and my man, thank you for my man that you have anger management problems. Get that video. Get that video. Did y'all hear the audio of Cassie going off? I don't care how many interviews Cassie been doing for the last few days. And yes, she's all over YouTube doing interviews. Y'all can go take a look. I told you when that girl flattened that stomach back in for that baby she made herself have for this trial. I told you she was going to be doing the interviews, right? Congratulations, Cassie and Alex, for your new baby. I don't mean no harm. Okay, so anyway, so Cassie definitely was the one making Diddy do everything that he could because she had a movie. Me and You in the movie Perfect Match with Terrence. That's about all I know of Cassie's career. If y'all have, oh, the modeling. the modeling, right? So the body that Diddy bought, like, yeah, yeah. So there's that, you know. So there's that of her career. Other than that, I don't really know anything more about Cassie. But that was the premiere. That's what they were in town for. So she didn't want to mess up her coins. Okay, so she did not, just like when Haley was with DDG. Don't want to mess up them coins because the Little Mermaid's coming out, and here you got me, barefoot, and you know what, right? So yeah, those kind of things do happen. I'm gonna call on the person that I know has the power to make moves like that. He's Sean P. Diddy Combs here since the 80s, here since way before that, but definitely making moves since the 80s, right? So I'm gonna call him and I'm gonna make him go get that video. And we heard the audio call. We heard the kind of things that she'll say to you if you don't give her the video. What was it, putting you 6 feet under, and all those kind of things that she says, right? So Eddie Garcia is Shapiro, attorney Shapiro is like, Eddie Garcia said the money was for the video. Miss Ventura came on FaceTime. She insisted that everybody give her that video right now. She didn't want the video to come out. The NTA permitted Garcia to not say anything to law enforcement. That's what that whole deal is about. So that's a great point that the defense is bringing around. Like, stop act, Cassie. We see all that little bit that you did trying to say CYA because you don't want to do life in prison and be talking to your babies from the other side of the bars. So we saw the kind of moves that you're making, right? You guys, I'm sorry if you have comments. I will go back in there and take a look again, but thank you guys for tapping it up to 1.8. If you will tap it up just a little bit more, take that. Like, that's how you do when you tap in the screen for me. You just take that. Okay, I'm sorry, too much Diddy, too much Diddy. All right, so listen. Shapiro also came around and said this regarding KK. Shapiro said, there's no proof that KK knew or thought these women were being coerced. She did damage control. There is evidence that Mr. Combs was not telling the truth to her. KK is supposed to be the main co-conspirator, right? But she only appears in March 2016. How is she a co-conspirator for all of this if she hasn't been around for as long as the things that they're accusing, right? 12 years or so, is that 12 years in with KK? Right? And then Shapiro makes another point. There's no evidence between the breakup with Cassie in 2018 and the beginning with Jane in 2021, even for a RICO conspiracy. They have to prove a single agreement. They go and they reference a really good trial, U.S. versus Pennsylvania, 577 F3D 455. And they like, this is, we want you to reference that trial. This is the same BS that you're trying to pull with my client, right? So Shapiro coming in with them, definitely ready. And I see why they're going to really be able to get to this really, really well today. Shapiro also says, even if the court denied this uh, Rule 29 motion, some should not go to the jury, period, under the California law. Whoever decided to cut up in California, y'all knew where to play them games at whatever was going on. Y'all tried to get Diddy and y'all tried to get him. You probably invited him to relocate to California. You tried to set him up, but you end up backfiring on you because there's some laws and some protections that may not work in New York, right? And then Shapiro went on to say the government had to show that the information was about to be given to law enforcement. Back in April, you found lack of probable cause. So they're just like calling it all out. Like, we are not here to play with you today, right? Also, Shapiro also said, and I'm just highlighting pieces that I don't go transcript line for line. So if you're new here, I don't do transcript line for line. We just highlight the things that I think should be talked about. Chat, what do you think about so much that we're saying so far? Beyond reasonable doubt. Need a mock jury in the chat. Guilty or not guilty, we need at least 4 people. I would love to have 12 people so that the mod can get a really good number. Guilty or not guilty, or should the judge answer what I'm about to talk about in a minute when it comes to acquittal? So, if the drama doesn't fit, Coach D. Shell says you must acquit. Okay. So, Mr. Combs was seeking to avoid negative publicity, is something that Attorney Shapiro for Sean P. Diddy Combs said. Mr. Combs was seeking to avoid negative publicity for both himself and for Cassie Ventura after that video, right? There was no police involvement. The guard who testified said that Miss Ventura didn't want to report it. Miss Ventura said the same thing, as did Carrie Morgan. right? So they're pointing out, why are you guys doing this? Why are you making this some kind of, somebody said not guilty. All right, so let's get some people moving. Tracy, is that how you say your name? I hope I said that right. Thank you so much for that. So thank you for adding that in the comment. All right, mock jury, guilty or not guilty? So far, do you remember the answers from yesterday? You guys, if you do, let me know. Tap, 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 take that, take that. Let's make the screen take that. You see why I always have oil on my oil, not baby oil, okay? Not inserted with estro. No, this is why I always have oil on my screen. But yeah, tap, 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 make the screen take that. All right, so I don't think I can say that. I'm pretty sure the algorithm is not going to let me say that anymore. F1 in the chat. I can't say that no more. All right, not guilty or guilty. What do you guys think? All right, so something else about Shapiro bringing out talks and comments and things that they're trying to highlight and talk about before this charging conference tomorrow, which is huge conversation with the judge to get ready to talk about what will the jury go into deliberation with. What will they be talking about? Will they go in with 9,000 hours of footage like the Homeland Security dude had to watch of F offs and run his entire, I don't know that. We don't know. But I'm sure Home is not happy that he had to sit and watch Cassie. He dreamed about Cassie every night. I'm sorry that was a job. I'm sorry that you're not out here protecting us and making sure that our region don't come for us. That's kind of what I want my HSI agents doing, right? Okay. So anyway, that's what the taxpayers probably agree with as well. All right. So Shapiro also said, is she alleged wrongful termination, presumably because she wanted to stay. Then, okay, this is where we're getting to it, right? So they get to talking about Jane. Okay. So they get to having a conversation about Jane. And Shapiro says, LJ, talk to us on that microphone. Mhm. I wonder should this one right here be going also. I'm sorry, you guys. All right, let me know. LJ, I can't hear you, but I think your thing is moving. So let me see what the problem is. After the Diddy trial, most of the people that follow me, they are going to be like, what else can we get from this lady? You want me to turn out, let me try to click mute and then click it again. LJ, should I turn the camera on? What kind of microphone are you using? Are you using a Bluetooth? Let me know. Okay, I know you did. Like you did everything. All right. I can't hear you. If y'all can hear him, let me know. I don't know what's wrong with my thing. But anyway, if you say something, turn your camera on so we can at least know that you're talking. I don't know. I don't know. All right. So Shapiro, where was that? Oh, so Jane, right? So Shapiro brings up Jane, like she's alleging these wrongful termination, right? Presumably because she wanted to stay, right? So then he goes, but then 50 Cent, and it just went into ellipses, meaning that the court reporters were not allowed to let us hear what was said about 50 Cent. It's Daphne. And I told y'all, I said, well, maybe it's Gina, you guys. Maybe it's Gina. All right. I'm fully understanding that the defense was kind of letting it out today, not Karen. Okay. I don't know. It really does seem like it's Daphne at this point. The rest of the media has already said it. I guess we should add it as well. I don't know. I have no idea, but it is given with the way that that was typed up. It is given something, right? And then with respect to Mia, she had a high GPA. She got her later job with Madonna. Mia, I know you didn't come up in here cutting up, trying to say all these things about Sean P. Diddy Combs, and you didn't have on your resume Madonna. Let me know who you get on your resume after this, okay? Because I doubt that it will be the likes of Madonna or anybody else that probably doesn't have those kind of issues with Sean P. Diddy Combs. If they may, if they did before, they probably forgave him and moved on. And if you're getting into these industry spaces, girl, they're not gonna invite you because they know that you might go to court on them and say all this stuff. So that probably was your last high profile. I'm just saying. So Shapiro goes on to say the elements are not met with them either, right? Just kind of pointing that out. Like that's just if the drama doesn't fit in this trial, they must acquit. Okay. So Shapiro also says not being paid overtime. Now I had to this we love our overtime time and a half kind of money, right? So I have to kind of disagree with this. But Shapiro says not being paid overtime is not forced labor. Attorney Shapiro said that. What do you guys think about that? I know you're going in hard trying to really defend your client, but when you're talking about the nation as a whole, who you talking to? I'm like, Shamar, remember when Shamar made the video said, I region, y'all trying to come for me? I'm like, literally, who you talking to, Shapiro? Because listen, paid overtime and not paying people and they work overtime, it's giving forced labor to me. Chat, what do you think? Is it forced labor when you don't get paid for your overtime? Overtime, is that extreme? What do you think? So I don't know. I don't feel like that's the truth, but you never know what people think. If you do not get your overtime paid, would you feel that you are in some type of forced labor situation? All you have to do is answer yes or no in the chat. Okay, yes or no in the chat. Capricorn clock. Let's move on past that because another thing I want to highlight from Shapiro. I got to get through all of these, and we're running out of time. We're running out of time. So Capricorn clock said Mr. Combs told her to get the F out of my house. She says that she was crossing that she says that it was crossing boundaries. She got a higher paid job after that though. Shapiro was like, yeah, I know she says this and that happened with my client, but did she get a higher paid job though? That's the point. And I thought that that was a pretty good point to point out for the defense getting ready to go, do their thing with the jury and presentation, right? Shapiro is really not here to play no games with the prosecution and the feds, whoever. Thank you for the 2.4 thousand taps. If you will continue to tap the screen, I appreciate that. Not here to play any games at all. With them, with anybody else that wants to hold this man back, they want their client to get out, maybe because they want that money that he probably can't access right now. They kind of want to get paid for their time. Just don't pay him for no overtime, did it? Because Shapiro said, and I quote, not being paid overtime is not forced labor. No, that's not right. Did he pay your people, especially if they get you out? Okay. So Capricorn Clark also, they said this. Shapiro continued on to say this part after that part with Capricorn Clark. These are able bodied USA citizens, perfectly capable of leaving when they wanted to leave, and most of them did leave. He went on to, they went on to say, what the two were most afraid of was losing their job. That's what they cared about. And then added, with respect for Capricorn Clark, she continues to work to show that she continued to work, and she did say that in her testimony. Why didn't you leave Sean P. Diddy Combs after being taken allegedly by whoever you says Paulie took you for 5 days and wouldn't let you leave the house and made you confess to where this missing necklace was? Why'd you stay on the job? And then they're calling her out. Like, she claims it was because she continued to work so she wouldn't be accused of stealing the necklace, but was it something more? This reckless
Talk
drama in
live
this
gets a
trial.
little echo. You got to
Shapiro also,
keep in.
anyway,
It's
we think
almost
that the
over.
statute is unconstitutional. On the forced labor, the statute was meant to enforce the 13th Amendment. It is used for domestic workers that are here in the country because they were supposed to be here and were allowed to be here, forced to work, bad conditions, and that's what that's used for, not for any other reason, right? Shapiro also added in some of the comments that we talked about today, Mr. Combs was already paying James rent. I still can't get over that rent. I still can't get over that rent being paid as of June 2025. That's like, you were on the stand, but your rent still got paid. Because I would have been collect call from Sean P. Diddy Combs. Stop that whole rent. Stop that whole rent. Like, I
Hello,
would,
hello.
you would not. No, ma'am. You would not. But no, he can't do any
That's still
retaliation.
not
That wouldn't be
better.
a good look. Mr. Combs was already paying James rent. There was nothing in the call about it. This is not persuasion. I'm sorry that Shapiro says there's no federal nexus. Now that they
Check,
want to
check, check.
argue 159.1, that would be a constructive amendment, as we say at the charge conference, right? So, what do you guys think? Again, hey LJ, I didn't even see you pop up. Thank you for popping up. You
Yeah,
guys follow, connect. LJ will be live later. We
I'm
can hear you
trying.
in
I'm
conversation
trying.
on your live because I
Mhm.
can hear you when you're on your live too. So we definitely will come with the conversation. Thank you for popping up. I appreciate that. You said I want to come down and came back and everything. I know. I don't know what's happening with the sound. Chat, if y'all can hear him, LJ say something to the chat and they can let me know if they can hear you. You
I'm
guys can let me know so
trying.
you can hear LJ over up on there and Maybe
Check
somebody
one,
else come
check
up and
one,
see if
one.
we might have to test the microphone anyway, right?
I'm gonna
The
try one more
Right.
time.
So also
One more.
Shapiro had added there would have to be proof that Mr. Combs knew of a federal investigation. Right. There would have to be proof that Mr. Combs knew of the federal investigation at the time. There is none. With respect to Jane, like they said, they have November 19th, 2023. There were no, T-Rex. Mr. Combs said this is when I need you to be there for me. So they kind of going over how calm that conversation was from his end, from their client's end. Translation: He is Mr. Combs said, "This is when I need you to be there for me, Jane, on November 19th, 2023. I didn't say anything bad to you, nothing like that. I simply said, girl, show up and be in the place to be because I don't know, we were filming a video for a music video. I don't know, that definitely they were reaching on that one with Jane. So Shapiro also says on kidnapping, there is insufficient evidence as to. I'm about to tell you what Diddy said in court, so you guys don't leave. Stay. I have something that I want to share with you about what he said in court today. His words, his actual voice, nothing made up. These are real deal reporting of from a reporter in the main courtroom as to what happened today. Day 29. Shapiro's also added this, and I'll say this and we'll wrap up Shapiro's thoughts. On kidnapping, there is insufficient evidence as to two or three of the allegations, even if you credit the U.S. witnesses, Capricorn Clark, and the detector tests. Uncle Polly took her to the building. So if she says that this happened and they made her do, untruth tests and all that, and Uncle Polly took her to a building and held her for 5 days, Shapiro went on to say, "What the f that got to do with Sean P Diddy Combs?" But he didn't say that to the judge because the judge would have kicked him out. But he did basically say, "This does not satisfy New York law, sir. Mr. Combs didn't even know." He basically said, "What the f? What the f that have to do with Diddy? What that have to do with my client, right?" And we feel him on that. I would have to agree. Just because somebody from Sean Combs' camp is out there acting rich, that does not mean that Diddy was acting ratchet, right? So we don't know. So that when you present stuff like that to the jury, it's like, okay, but y'all reasonable doubt, because that's a really great point from the defense, right? Can I tell you this? Can I tell you this? The United States Fed's prosecution officially rests their case today on day 29. Officially rests their case in the Sean P. Diddy Combs trial on day 29, right before the end of the day, had us hanging on to the very last second. That's why I'm late on here and missed half of my crowd. I could get a crowd in here, right? But I still appreciate all of y'all that did show. But literally, that's the reason why we were late, right? So the prosecution rests. What do you guys think about that? We are almost at before the 4th of July. We are almost at freedom, or no freedom for Sean P. Diddy Combs. So what do you guys think about that, chat? Did you get a good vote going? Guilty or not guilty? Let me know. Prosecution is resting, but guess who had all levels of energy today beside me? There was somebody else that had a pre-workout today too. Somebody else was on that high energy today. Do you know who else had that high energy today in the court today? The defense. The defense was not here to play about their client Sean P. Diddy Combs. Don't come for none of my clients. That's what they said, because we are good at what we do. So the defense just moved for a motion. The defense moved for a motion, you guys. They moved for a motion of judgment of acquittal. Rule 29 move. They based it on insufficient evidence to sustain a conviction. They said we were tuned in to Coach D Shears, and she said, if the drama don't fit, you must acquit. I have to agree with them. I have to absolutely agree with them. But they didn't say that. But they definitely said they are move for a motion of a judgment of acquittal, Rule 29, based on insufficient evidence to sustain a conviction. Judge has not responded to that acquittal request, but brilliant move on the defense. I'm definitely, we keep going back and forth. Wow, that was good prosecution. Oh, defense, you brought that. Wow, that was messy prosecution. Defense said, take that, take that. Like, it's just been that kind of a trial all trial since May 5th. Okay, it has been something going on, and we have been here every bit of the way. I hope you guys continue on, because we always have something to talk about when it comes to pop culture with me. So if you will follow the podcast link in bio, I have more to share. I'm going to tell you what Diddy said today. So stick around so I can tell you what Sean P. Diddy Cole said in court today. Link in bio, YouTube link in bio. Watch the full shows. You missed the one on Sunday. You shouldn't have. 11,000 people came by. Fat Joe, we talked about Fat Joe. We had a great 2 hour conversation, 2 and more hours conversation about Fat Joe. So you can just go click the link in bio and watch that entire conversation. And go join my community on YouTube, if you will. You know, I'm trying to grow over there on YouTube. Been trying to go since 2010, but we won't have that conversation. Technically, I've been trying to grow on YouTube. Actually, I've been over there trying to grow since 2009, but we will not have that conversation. Okay. All I need is hope that you guys will actually support me over there. Also, you can go to What D Says the Podcast, wherever you listen to podcasts, or right there on YouTube. Listen to the podcast, more recent episodes over there on Spotify, iHeartRadio, wherever you listen to podcasts over there. I have a podcast app that's tuning in over there in India. If you're listening to Germany, wherever you tune in and tapping in to listen to the podcast, been here. My A1 Day One's been here since 2010. Tune in and tapping in to listen to the podcast. Been here. My A1 Day One's been here since 2010. I really appreciate you. Some have even been here since 2009. I really appreciate that. And someone's been here since 2010. I really appreciate you. Some have even been here since 2009. I really appreciate that. And some of y'all went way, way back. Some of y'all have been all the way here since MySpace when I was the lead host of the Battle of the Sexes over there in Fort Hood, Texas. I don't know how far back you guys go, but thank you either way because you're highly appreciated if I haven't said it enough. Right? So that's a good request. The defense put it in, but the judge hasn't said anything yet. They are moving to acquit for a motion of a judgment of acquittal, Rule 29 move. They're basing it on insufficient evidence to sustain a conviction. That's not bad. The jury basically has nothing nothing. Like, I think that they can just jump on into a decision within minutes, but we shall see if the judge continues forward and doesn't equate. Okay. As far as racketeering, no criminal agreement. What do you guys think? Beyond reasonable doubt yet? I hope you're watching the show. You notice how I say it all the time. Reasonable doubt is my shield. Okay. But no, I'm also a paralegal, so it's probably a mix of both. All right. So racketeering, no criminal agreement, no conspiracy within inner circle of bodyguards. Puff worked to keep it from them. He wasn't trying to have all that come out. He wasn't working some organization conspiracy. He was trying hard to protect everyone's reputation as well as his, rightfully so, for the personal things that they do. Just like you, because you were at a swinger event last night with your man. That hit somebody in the chat. Who knows? There are all kind of people that do that kind of stuff, and that's not something to send somebody to a RICO trial for, right? Um, Nothing about covering up a C rhyme, just damage control of his businesses, of an incident, especially that Cassie Hotel incident, right? The judge will probably move forward. Y'all not gonna keep playing with Zubbermanian in the streets. I said no to the appeal. I said no to the appeal. Ask me again about the appeal. He's tired of y'all. He's tired of y'all. He's done enough. You think I sat here for 29 days till he quit? Not about to play with you. So I will let you know tomorrow, but the answer is probably hell no. To the no, no, no. But I don't know. Zubbermanian may actually say yes. We don't know. The judge, if he does move forward with his jury deliberations and decision, he'll do what he does, right? However, he has not decided on the acquittal request, so we don't know. He'll just go forward with the jury. We will see. As far as tomorrow, we know the charging session is going to happen. That's going to be so fun. Can you imagine? I mean, it's not going to be fun. Okay, if you're not in the legal world, that's not going to be fun for y'all. That is going to be a lot of fun. The back and forth is a good adrenaline rush, okay? What do you guys think, Chad? Reasonable, beyond reasonable doubt. This you have no more time to think. The jury gonna decide for you, and you're gonna say, "I knew it. I knew exactly what that jury said, baby. I was meaning to say that too." Y'all gonna do that. You know y'all gonna do that. Like, what juror number two said, I meant that too. Go on and make your decision now. Hit it in the chat so I can save it and come back and call you out if you lie. Go on and put in the chat, guilty or not guilty, or should they do an acquittal? What do you think? But Sean Combs spoke today, so let's get to it. He was up in court today to answer questions from the judge on whether or not whether or not he plans to testify. So Sean Combs said, thank y'all for coming out. God bless and good night. No, he didn't say that. But anyway, he stayed up in court today to answer to the judge. He stayed up in court today to answer to the judge on whether or not he plans to testify, okay? And he answered in his own words. So want to hear it? Here it go. Here's what we will do. If you want to hear what he had to say, I need you to tap. Just give me 100 more. Can I get 100 more taps? That's it. 100 more taps. It's not that hard. It's not that hard. Tap the screen. If you guys will, if you will tap the screen, can I get 100 more taps? Thank you for your participation. Thank you for your comments. If you can still hear me, let me know. I appreciate you. Thank you. Same for those gifts. Thank you, LJ, for those gifts. Ice cream, heart me's, and Community Fest by 10. Thank you so much for that. Listen, this is what Sean P. Diddy Combs had to say today. Okay. He said, and he was just Diddy. Wait, before I tell you that. Quincy put a video up. You need to go see it. You need to see Sean P. Diddy Combs before you get to your opinion about who you think he is when the jury comes with their decision. You need to go to Quincy's YouTube page. And he put a video up. Probably, if you can find it, just go to episode 2, Combs Family
T-Lance, thank you
Vacation.
for coming
Y'all,
by.
listen, that
Recapping
Combs
the
Family
TikTok
Vacation
live.
is such a good
Thank you for
video.
coming
Quincy's
by.
actually very
If
good
you
at
want to come
vlogging. I
back
love, that
and
vlogging
talk
content. And I
and
put
we can
that trip
recap
on
it,
my
please
bucket
let me
list.
know if
When I
you
saw that vacation that they took, I was like, that's so affordable. We could definitely take that vacation. So they did a road trip and they went from Cali. They went from California to Beverly Hills. Y'all know if he get found guilty, get life in prison and don't make it like Jeffrey Epstein a month later. Y'all know y'all gonna be wanting to keep up with that kind of tea. But listen, I know that God is gonna cover Sean P. Diddy Combs. But I'm just saying, y'all kind of act funny. Y'all don't show up until somebody hurt. Y'all don't know how to give people their flowers when they're alive. But they anyway, so Quincy did this thing and they took this trip, right? And they went from California, then they went to Beverly Hills. They kind of had breakfast in Beverly Hills, and then they went to Sedona, Arizona, and they got an Airbnb and they had an experience like a lot of us had. He has all the children with him. He had no phones, no phones. We're just chilling, enjoying each other. Then Quincy handed everybody back their phones, and they went hiking because they had seen the Sedona Seven Pool. So if you're in Arizona, you already know. So they have a TikTok video where they telling people what it's gonna look like. They hiked all the way up to the top of those rocks, y'all. It was a lot. They were doing push-ups. Diddy had to do push-ups, and Quincy they were doing push-ups on the ground before the hike, and then they went on the hike and they crawled all the way up. All the staff went, everybody went. They crawled all the way up on the red rocks, and everybody did push-ups, and the twins did squats, all that, and they started looking for these pools. And when y'all see what they found, you need to go check that out. But that was a good vacation idea. I still will do it. I already know what those pools really look like, but I will still do it. And also, they went to the Grand Canyon. But anyway, Quincy has that video of Combs Family Vacation. Let's get to what Diddy said in court. So look, he said up in court, he said this. He said this. He was asked whether or not he plans to testify, and he said in his own words, Sean P. Diddy Combs quote. He also said this. He's talking to the judge. If I didn't make that clear, he said, "Your Honor, you are doing an excellent job. You were doing an excellent job." And the judge kind of laughed about that, like, okay, thank you, I appreciate that. No matter what the people say about me, I'm the judge that Sean P. Diddy Combs told me I'm doing an excellent job. The judge really wanted to go, damn, the judge really, but he held himself together, but he really wanted to say, like he really wanted to get super excited about that. But he did it. He held himself together. Okay. You guys cut into my meditation time. It's 4:44. You cut into my meditation time. Shame on you, or whatever Deepak Chopra would say. Okay, so listen. Um, he said, Your Honor, you are doing an excellent job. The judge kind of smiled at that compliment, chuckled a little bit. And then the judge asked him, do you understand your rights on testifying or your refusal to do so? And Diddy said, listen, yes, Your Honor. This is a quote again, so write the quote down. Yes, Your Honor, it's my decision. I've thoroughly spoke with my attorneys. This is my decision. I'm making it. I'm not going to testify. Yeah, like I said, Diddy got on the stand. I mean, he stood up today to talk to the judge today, and he said exactly what I told y'all. He said, "Thank y'all for coming out. God bless and good night." He said they go coming out. God bless and good night. Because I don't know what y'all gonna do with me, and I'm just gonna make sure that I had diplomacy at all levels. When y'all quote me, you better make sure you quote me right, right? So he didn't say that, but he definitely said it's my decision. I thoroughly spoke with my attorneys. This is my decision. I'm making it. I'm not going to testify. So he's not coming to the stand, y'all. I told you that this would happen, though. I told you he would have only a few words to say. That's it. I told you that's all he would have to say. What do you guys think about that? We're wrapping up. He is not going to testify. Diddy said he had his moment in court. He said what he said. He said it very well. He represented what it looks like to respect a judge when you're in court. That is how we want IBLK men. That is how you should carry yourself inside the courtroom. Don't do all those outbursts, no disrespectful tone. Make sure you do your yes sirs and your no sirs and talk and use your honor. Be very respectful and dress well when you go to court, kind of thing. He really represented for the BLK culture because if anybody's in the courtroom more than anybody else, it's definitely the culture. So good representation there, Sean P. Diddy Combs, when addressing the judge, talking to the judge, how you carry yourself throughout the trial. Excellent. I really feel like he did really great with owning and responsibility and owning up and accountability. All that did very well. Even was able to call out the things that he done wrong. He was trying to tell y'all how to act in relationships, but my brothers. Okay, so that's it. He had his moment in court. And it was less than 20 words, like I told y'all it would be. I've been saying that for 29 days. Listen, that's it. He had not perfect, right? Like perfectly, but that's it. And then if y'all still think that I'm not a good person and I deserve the worst, it's going to be up to God from there. He's been praying, seeing with the praying hands. He's done all he could to, we serve a God that does forgive, right? But we know that we walk in a society that does not. So we serve a God that does forgive. Quote D Shields. I told you always bring your pen and paper because I'm always going to give you something that literally just came from God. So we serve a God that forgives, but we walk in a society that does not. So it is making sure that you have that one-on-one relationship because you never know when you need to call on him. Okay, and Diddy has had to call on him for these past. What has it been? How long has he been in there? September. Oof, it's been rough and already into the summer. He definitely, I told you, it's sharper than he goes. He gonna have a moment. Y'all gonna give me this moment, and I'm gonna act right in the moment because I don't have all this extra Siroccan to go so rock daily on and pop, pop, popping. So, and because I have all that going on, I was able to carry myself very well. And I was able to talk to the judge and say your honor and speak very well. And, just really carry yourself. The judge will not be able to say that that person was anything other than when I had to tell you, stop nodding your head. But then when he realized, like, if you look at all the interviews with Sean P. Diddy Combs, I'm like, who tells Diddy to stop nodding his head? Like, he's always nodding his head. He's moving. That's just kind of something that he does. That's his demeanor. And they just kind of read that the wrong way. You don't believe me? Go to an interview, Vogue 73 Questions with Sean P. Diddy Combs. It's like a Christmas interview. Go watch that. That's an excellent way of showing how he likes to present himself in the public light. So it was good that they brought that out as a defense move. Like, publicity wise, he was good. He wanted to leave it alone. It was Cassie. Cassie, I want my man to go get that video right now. I can't let anybody know that I'm a trick. I mean, or whatever she said in that audio. She didn't say that, but she wanted to say that. I don't want people to know I'm a trick, but whatever she said. But anyway, I've seen Cassie with her, oh yeah, nah, nah. She's been doing her interviews, on YouTube, trying to be this innocent soul. But God can forgive Diddy, God can forgive Cassie too, right? He does move his head. He moves his head. No one's making like, thank you for someone coming in to say that, Katie. Thank you. Like that's just something that he does, right? So I think the judge, the next day when they asked the judge to say something again, he said, I am not going to police the way that Sean P. Diddy Combs is moving in the trial of his life, paraphrase. And the judge is like, that's, he's paying attention and he's moving and he's in his mind and he's thinking. He's a producer. He is brilliant. He has brought you the likes of Keisha Cole, Mary J. Blige, Jodeci, hell, Drewski, Kevin. Kevin Hart, Casanat. Like I'm just saying, like he has brought you a lot of great talent into the culture. So because of all this great talent and things like that, a mind like that is always moving. So he's a brilliant mind alongside his sins, right? So because of that, yeah, you probably is a person that nods and is thinking he might have been hitting the beat. Y'all ain't even asking. Y'all say, are you in there writing a new song, Diddy? If I was somebody in the courtroom and I was a part of the experience that is Sean P. Diddy Combs, the producer, on trial. If I saw him moving, I would be like, "Ooh, that's about to be a banger." Like I would have been thinking that, not, "Oh, he's trying to coerce the jury." Like what? Stop whining in that court. Like I said, Coach D. Shields said, "If the drama doesn't fit, they must acquit." Court. Like I said, Coach D. Shields said, "If the drama doesn't fit, they must acquit." Okay, they must, but we will see because the judge, Your Honor, will do what he's going to do. You notice I reference Your Honor again. Y'all have to go watch that series. That is a good series. Anybody else see Your Honor? That is a good series. All right. So I don't have anything else. You guys went up to the tap tap tap. Take that. Y'all did that. Y'all did that. Remember, y'all see that here first. Take that, take that. But anyway, thank y'all for doing that to the screen. I appreciate that. 3.3 thousand. That's phenomenal. As far as how many people came by today, the site says that 3,745 people. That's really good. I was really impressed. You guys on these talks, see 5 people. That's really good. I was really impressed. You guys on these talks that I've been doing and bringing the podcast over here to TikTok, which it took a lot of convincing. People kept saying, you need to bring the podcast to TikTok. You need, why? Trump's going to take the app away. You need to bring it to TikTok. Why? Trump's going to, I didn't want to do it, right? But I finally listened. I did it, and it's been great fun over here. It's more fun than recording, each episode. Go listen to the other episodes. Like the only episodes where I have a lot of fun is my lyrics breakdown studio time. Like other than that, I just, there's been some great conversations and I do cover some really great songs on lyrics breakdown, or sometimes this is a really good time in the media. But and most of the time, if Sean P. Diddy Combs is not on trial, it's pretty boring in the entertainment streets. You have to have DDG going upside Happy Head, or oh God bless her, or you have to have Krishan acting up, or Blueface doing something, or Papoose or Remy. Like you have to have that kind of stuff going on. It's just like, what's happening again? The eye region about to take us off the wipe us off the face of the earth. Oh well, let's get this podcast recorded. That's podcast life. So it is a lot more fun over here on TikTok. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you. Thank you for all who tapped in. We did an hour and 15, phenomenal. Even though that's 30 minutes over my time that I like to record. If you're familiar with my podcast, you know I like to do 45 minutes to an hour. But hey, you stay until God says do differently, okay? Or whatever it says in the Bible. I'm Coach C Shields. If you will follow the host, please follow the host. If you will go to my link in bio, YouTube link in bio, you'll be able to recap this whole show later over there on YouTube. If it uploads, sometimes they don't upload. I'm sorry about that. They don't accept everything that I have to say on YT. Because you can say it on TT, but you can't always say it on YT. Okay, so it may not upload, but if it does, right now the Fat Joe did upload to go get a whole scoop of ice cream and sit down and watch a scoop. I do not want you to don't eat a gallon. Somebody said that they even eat the whole half pint. Listen, we are in a life where you have to eat 3 spoonfuls of ice cream, and you can only do that once a week if you want to be a hottie hottie for this summer. Okay, but yes, definitely go get a cup of tea and go watch the Fat Joe because it's 2 hours. Okay, get some pineapples, add some pineapples in there and some watermelon because it's definitely going to take you through 2 hours of talk. But we had a great time. But the YouTube link in bio for that, if you would like a copy of the books, please do the link in the bio to read the book that's at Barnes and Noble. You can order online, orders only, or like I said before, you have to go in the store, take the book title, and take it to them, and then ask them at the front, can I get that book, right? I also think that since we outside, we are outside. Since we are outside and we are having a conversation, let me cover it up so that I don't get in trouble. I want you to read my memoir, okay? Yes, this is Michael. Okay, I want you guys to read my memoir. Okay, great is not love and never will be. That is my book. If you will, go purchase that one also on Amazon, or you can read the one that I'm bringing you guys. Did I promise you guys that I would? I think I did say that I would bring this as a read. Yeah, I said that I would bring it to you, so I will. We'll read this on the next book reading. So show up, turn on the notification, follow the host so that you're able to be a part of it. Reasons she's excessive over a man. Have you or someone you know been in a relationship with a woman who refuses to accept that it is over? Part two in my Reasons book series will introduce you to the excessive, obsessive behavior of that ex girlfriend or that ex wife who just refuses to get over what will be, including my explanations for why she behaves this way, my solutions for how to deal with her when she does. All right. So if you will go support the books. You know, I don't get on here and talk like this because I like to. I'm joking. No, I love to do it. Love to do it. It's something that if I could do this into forever, I will. Give me $1 million, I won't do it as much. My haters, they're like, well, don't come on here all the time. Okay, give me $1 million and I will. And give me $1 million and I will. All right. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you. Thank you for those who stayed and stick around with my antics. LJ, thank you for being top gifter. Britt Reborn also up there at the top. Thank you for that. Reba, thank you. Robert, thank you. Billy, Cindy. I don't some of the I didn't see the repeats. Diego, thank you so much for that. Beverly, Gary, I appreciate you. Jay Stone, thank you. Is it Kay? I'm trying to and he always tells me if you would just use my mouse, you wouldn't be having them kind of problems. And my man, thank you for my man. Trini, thank you so much. Polly, I appreciate you. So, all of those who came in and tuned in and enjoyed the show, you guys came at 3,951 people stopped by the show today. You guys tapped at 4,723. Impressive. Thank you so much for that and giving me time today. If I see that you followed, I will be going to your page and viewing your content and following back and supporting your live. Look forward to seeing you on the FYP. Thank you guys.